Okay, it is 30 types in 30 days, and we are on day number 17. I thought we should take a closer look at Judah. Judah's such an interesting character, and we see his story kind of start back in chapter 37 in force, where he is the one who comes up with the idea to sell this youngest brother, or Joseph, not quite the youngest, but Joseph, into slavery. When they are going to do this, they go ahead and do this. Then in chapter 38, we see Judah acting again in a very unsavory way, very bad way toward his own daughter-in-law, even though by the end of the chapter he has to admit that he's the unrighteous one and she's acting more as the righteous one. Then we go into the rest of the story and we find the brothers having to go to Egypt. They come into contact with Joseph, who's now second in control of everything. They're having to beg for food. As they do this, he challenges their story and says they must bring their youngest brother back if they want to prove their identities. When they go home, Reuben, they can't convince their father to do this no matter how hard they try. Reuben even tells his father in 42:37 that he will give his sons in the place of Benjamin if they don't return him to the father. This is an unacceptable bargain. You don't offer your own sons, obviously, in the place of somebody else. That's just not going to work. But we get to chapter 43:8 and following, and immediately we then start seeing Judah offering his own life in the place of Benjamin if they don't return it. This is what causes, the offering of Judah's own life in his place, that causes the father to finally allow Benjamin to go. And then he does allow him to go. They get to Joseph. Joseph receives them all. They have a wonderful dinner together. As Joseph sends them away, though, he arranges that it can look like Benjamin has stolen something, so that when Benjamin is brought back, his life is required in the place of everyone else. Now this, in chapter 44 is what changes everything. And in 44:14 and following, Judah's the one who steps up and argues so strongly for giving his own life in the place of Benjamin. Please let him give his own life, because he can't bear the idea that his father will be overtaken with grief, with evil, in verse 34, if they don't bring the lad home. It's the father's sorrow that Judah can't stand the thought of, and he will offer his life in the place of this most loved son, or however, or all of them if necessary, in order that they could go back to the father so that he won't be in grief. You can just hear the Christ story coming out of that. Judah becomes finally the Christ figure we wanted him to be, realizing the error of his ways and offering his own life because of the father's sorrow. Okay. Hope you enjoyed it.